today and welcome. Just wanted to do a quick little tutorial on how to go through this worksheet here. Okay, so number one, pretty easy. All you have to do is label the parts on the wave. So where's the amplitude, where's the wavelength, where's the crest, where's the trough, what is origin. Take a look back at the notes that we did. Then you can see where everything is labeled. So the crest and the trough and the amplitude and origin. Just don't forget that if you're looking at the amplitude, this is probably one of the most confusing parts, that amplitude is actually from origin up or from origin down. So if you're using a ruler to measure it, you do not do from top to bottom. It's actually just like from here to here. But when you're doing wavelength, you do need to go up through a crest, down through a trough, and back again as one wavelength. Or you can just say crest to crest. So like here it's crest to crest or trough to trough. But that distance is called the wavelength. Okay, so on the second part here is just matching. If you're not sure which one, save it for last and then see which ones are left over. Okay, so instead of looking here, I'm actually just going to do this exact problem with you. So it says that it wants us to draw a wave with an amplitude of 2 centimeters and a wavelength of 4 centimeters. So let's take a look and see how we would do something like this. This is mostly for the back page of the worksheet, but let's take a look right now, because if you can draw one, you can probably you're going to do a really nice job of being able to figure out some of the other stuff. So if we want the amplitude to be 2 centimeters, what I like to do is I kind of just like to make a little bit of a mark. So right here would be 2, and then that would be also going down. So remember, this is our origin line right here. So then that would be 2 going down. Okay, so just to kind of make a little bit of like, to make note of that. So now I want my wavelength to be 4 centimeters. So my wavelength is 4 centimeters. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to put a dot there. I like to use a dot. And so I'm going to do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, perfect. So now what I want is I want up through a crest and down through a trough to meet back at that dot. So up and back again is one wave. So sometimes it helps at the half point to put a little X. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up and back, that's my crest, down and back. Now I have one wave cycle. That's called one wave or one wave cycle. So we do the same thing again. If you want to have like a little imaginary X in there, then I know I'm going to go up and back and then down and back. So again, a little imaginary X, up and back, down and back, another one there, so up and back, down. And then some of you may be able to do this without doing this, but up and back. And then again, up and back again. Okay, now, question's going to ask you what the frequency of the wave is. So the frequency is how many cycles pass, and they're going to tell you that it's per 1 second, okay? Oh, and I forgot to mention this too. So when they said centimeters, they're not really centimeters. Every square is what we're considering 1 centimeter. So if you look, you'll see that there's a key that basically says that 1 square is equal to 1 centimeter, okay? So there's a little bit of a key on the worksheet. All right, so what we want for the frequency is we want to count how many waves we pass. Well, all you have to do is count the dots. So obviously not at the start, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I would call this 6 hertz, okay? Or the hertz is the same thing as a 1 over second, okay? And you can always check it to make sure that it makes sense. Now this one here tends to be a little bit more challenging. There isn't this exact problem, but there's one that's similar to this that is on your worksheet. So I just want to go over this one too. Okay, so this one says that the amplitude is 3 centimeters, the wavelength is 2 centimeters. Let's mark our amplitude. So I'm looking at here and here, so 3 up and 3 down. And that's for my origin, and then I want my wavelength to be 2. That means it's 2 squares, so that's my circle. Every 2 is going to be where my new wave is going to start again, okay? So then if I want to mark a little X at the half mark, that's where my crest comes back and then my trough goes. So it's going to be something like this, all the way up to the 3 and back down, okay? So pay attention to what, how many it tells you, and you would basically go all the way, keep on going. When it asks you for the frequency, well, that's pretty easy. I could actually figure it out before I even draw the wave because I can see how many dots I drew. So I drew 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I would say that this is 12, a frequency of 12 hertz. Okay. All right, and then let's just take a look back at the worksheet real quick and make sure there isn't anything else that might look confusing here. Okay, so I did say place a dot or a slash at the start of each new wave cycle. So make sure you do that for yourself. Again, remember, this is not one wave cycle. That's not where you would put your dot. You would put it here. So up through a crest, down through a trough is going to be one wave cycle. Okay, and so on these, you're just basically going to label how many wave cycles there are. Just so you know, in wave 4, there is a half, just an FYI. It does have an extra half, so when it asks you for that, you can say 0.5. The other thing I wanted to mention is you do need a ruler for this. So, for example, it says here, what's the wavelength in centimeters? I really do want you to take a ruler and measure from either crest to crest, trough to trough, or you can go from origin up and back again. Reminder on how to use a ruler. I know you know this, but just in case. So we have inches on the bottom. We're not looking at that. We're looking up here at the centimeters, okay? So the little tick marks are millimeters. I don't want that. I want the centimeters. So, for example, if I measured across and it stopped just before the 1, I would say 0.9 centimeters, okay? So like, for example, when you go to figure out the answers and you go to measure, let's come back here for a second here. When you go to measure on the first wave that you're going to measure, which is this one right here, you should get that your wavelength is 2 centimeters across. So if you use your ruler, you should get 2 centimeters. And you should get your amplitude to be about 0.9 centimeters, something like that, okay? All right, I hope that helped you out. Happy day.